Hi, nobodies. Um, so it's early still. Well, I mean, it's not real early. It's 11 o'clock. Um, I got burned making pork chops last night. um, so it's fucking cold, but I'd be cold if I was in Arkansas too, because my daughter said there's a 40% chance of rain. So yeah, I'd be cold there too. So, I mean, not rain, snow. It's like 36 degrees there. So yeah, it's not that much colder here in Ohio. So I just got a text from somebody, and it made me want to speak about something, um, that kind of goes against what I try to do, um, and it's assuming that like this person gave me a dirty look, you know, or or whatever. And um, you know, I try to give people benefit of the doubt. Like if I think that they're looking at, like, I don't automatically assume when somebody's got a bad look on their face that they're mad or that they're thinking something awful about me. Um, Subtlety does not work on me. I'm pretty much, if you want to piss me off, you just come straight out and tell me what the fuck is wrong. Don't be subtle about it. So when I see somebody say, "Oh, this person just gave me a dirty look," how do you know they were giving you a dirty look? I mean, some of us, me, have resting bitch face. Um, and I might be looking right at you and have this resting bitch face on. Doesn't mean I'm mad at you. I'm maybe not even like, I might be looking right at you and have resting bitch face going on, and I may not be seeing you. I'm thinking about something else, or I just smelled, and like if I give you a really dirty look, it might just be that I just smelled dog, or I just, you know, somebody farted. I mean, it could be anything causing me to do that. So if I see a particularly nasty look on somebody, I'm like, well, it may not be about you. They might smell something distasteful. They might think something distasteful, they might be thinking about their ex, or having to clean the stove. You don't know what's going on in their head. So to automatically assume that somebody, it's just like if you're going into a meeting and you're like, oh, those people hate me. Don't walk in there like those people hate you, or those people aren't going to give you a fair shake. um, because chances are, if you walk in with the attitude of everybody hates me, or I'm going to fail, you're pretty much assuring your failure on that. Your best bet is to walk in and say, "Hey, these people don't know me, or they do know me," you know, and just give them the benefit of the doubt that they don't have these same feelings about you that you think that they might have, because of your past, or the way you look, or the way you dress. Um, when I see a man who's covered in dirt, mud, grease, I don't automatically say, oh, he's a dirtbag. No. My automatic thought is typically, that's a man that works fucking hard. If I give him a dirty look, it might be because I'm like, oh, he forgot deodorant, or, oh, he's been in the sewer, you know, like, but it's not the man that I'm judging. It's, and if, but I try not to. I try to walk around composed, and a lot of people think that I'm indifferent or I don't care. There's a lot of thought that goes into not reacting to people when they say things. Um, like if somebody says, I make you miserable, and I just seem indifferent to it, it's because I don't want to go, oh, no, 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 you you're perfect, you're this, you're that, because they're not going to believe that. They're going to say that I'm being fake when I'm trying to, that's what goes through my head. If I react in a, oh my God, no, 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 you got me all wrong, blah, 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 and a lot of times I've found that I end up not helping my case any, so, so a lot of times I might seem indifferent because I'm not, I don't want to seem fake. And, so a lot of times I get accused of being cold, indifferent, emotionless. And what it is it's just this lifelong thing of hide it. My dad was very good at hiding. I mean, like, he could cry. I can cry. There's a certain point where you can't hold back the flood. There's only so much before the dam breaks, but me appearing indifferent, cold, emotionless doesn't mean that that's what's going on in my head. And I say this to the same when you see somebody and you're like, oh, they're pissed at me, they're mad, or they're giving me a dirty look, they think bad things about me. You don't know what's going on in their head. I mean, the thing is like, I try to hide that shit. I do. Some people don't, but you don't know what they're reacting to. They might be thinking about something that their kid said to them that morning. You don't know. So it's easier on yourself if you just try not to think they're negative towards me. That look, that horrible look is about me. Or they don't care because they're not showing that they care. It's like, hey, for somebody who's an emotional retard like me, showing that I care is hard because I don't want it to be fake. I'm afraid, or I don't know that it'll be taken the way that it's, there's little things I do to show that I care. I'm used to being rejected. I mean, that's from childhood. I'm used to being rejected. So big overtures of caring are really difficult for me because there's so much chance of rejection, like major rejection. Like if I let loose, and I don't even think I can let loose. I mean, my automatic go-to with I'm upset is don't cry, don't cry, don't cry, freeze, 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 freeze. Don't react, don't react. It's maddening when people see me as like, oh, you don't give a shit. Oh, I give a fuck. I give a lot of fucks. I give a lot more fucks than I need to give. Because I mean, the thing is I might seem like I'm not listening. I don't care. But in my head, there's like this scramble of what do I do? How do I fix this? How do I make things better? Like, and it bothers me. Like, it picks at me. It eats me up. But I can't show that. I was trained not to. I mean, that was my whole life. Like, my dad saying, don't let everybody know you're happy. Don't let them know who you really are. They won't like you if they know you. That was typical, And the man would even say it about himself that, if you really knew me, you wouldn't like me. He would say that. You wouldn't like the real me. And he wouldn't say it in a Hulk, you wouldn't like me when I'm angry. No, he honestly felt like if he wasn't composed and collected and staunch, that people would not accept him. that they couldn't know him and love him and stuff. And this is a man I grew up with, and when I think about him, I didn't really know him. I don't think anybody really knew him. Um, and I don't know if I would have ever called him indifferent. He was pretty opinionated, which is totally different. Being opinionated and indifferent, you can be very opinionated and seem indifferent. It just depends on, like when somebody says something and I'm sitting there like, oh, I so disagree. The mask goes on because I don't want to show that I'm disgusted with their opinion or with their take on things or their beliefs. I always, it's really important to me that I'm always respectful and nice. Nice is extremely important to me. And when people push me past that, they don't realize how much it hurts me. Like I'll sit there and roll it over in my head like, I shouldn't have said that. I should not have said that. I should have withstood that. I shouldn't have let this person get to me to the point where I got mean and said what I was thinking. So there's always this, there's consequences to actions. I was raised very highly on there's consequences to actions. And I was also raised very highly on this is how we want you to be seen. This is how you're supposed to act. This is what you're supposed to do. So, it upsets me when people think I'm indifferent or that I don't care or I have no emotions. I have emotions. They're just in there. They're just like deep down in there. The mask that exists in situations is, I'm not indifferent. I'm frozen. I don't know how to react. So my reaction is to have no reaction. My reaction is to speak analytically, logically, to try to fix things, but testing my words, choosing my words carefully, monitoring my body language to the point where, like I don't want to seem mad. I don't want to seem this way. I don't want to see, I'm like trying to be blank so that I don't make things worse. But it does make things worse. I mean, it's kind of a catch-22 on that, that by not reacting, people think I don't care. But I care about a lot of things. I try not to dwell on the things that cause me pain or anguish. I try not to feed the negativity that runs through my head by outwardly projecting it. I try not to fight, not to argue. I will debate. I like debating. Debating is one thing. When I know, like with my aunt, I can debate religion with her as long as I don't, I know her well enough to not disrespect her opinion and her beliefs and question her beliefs. No, I don't question her beliefs when I debate with her. I question the things that other people believe, or I question, like if Jesus is the way to God and Jesus forgives and Jesus died for my sins and so on and so forth, how can, if nobody's approached me in a way to get me to believe this is fact, is it my fault? Do I burn in hell? Because in all honesty, if Jesus or God didn't put the right person in my path, because see, not everybody gets it the same way. Not everybody can cling to a belief taught by the same teacher. Sometimes they have to have somebody else approach them differently about it. And if the person who can get through to them is not put in their path, is it their fault if they don't learn the right thing? You know, that is how I debate her. You know, it's like, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying, in my case, where I have trouble believing what you believe, how can somebody tell me I'm going to burn in hell because I don't have that faith? And if I say that I have that faith, that makes me a liar, which is wrong. You know, so that's the way we debate. She doesn't tell me I'm wrong. You know, we discuss this thing and it doesn't get heated. I can handle that. I cannot handle, you know, like if I come across this and somebody's like, no, if you don't believe what I believe, you're going to burn in hell. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. You know, you believe it or you don't. And if you don't, you know, and it's like, well, what if I go to church and I say I believe? Then you're going, you know, but you can't because you're Muslim and you're this or that. You can't go, you know. That kind of, when somebody attacks me, I can't handle that. That kind of confrontation just does nothing for me. And I will seem indifferent to them at that point, because I will get to the point where I'm like, okay, I hear you. Please respect my beliefs. I am respecting your beliefs. You know, I will come off as indifferent when in all actuality, inside, I'm like, motherfucker, you can't judge me. You ain't God. You can't tell me that your own religion says that you cannot judge me, that only God can judge me. You know, I mean, in my head, I'm like fighting this major battle of read your fucking book, asshole, you know. But I don't want to make things worse. I don't want a confrontation. So I will say, okay, I hear you. You know, and I will come off as uncaring and like I don't give a fuck. But I just realize that I'm fighting a losing battle with them. They're not going to see my point. I'm not going to change their mind. I'm not going to have them see my point of view. I don't expect, like my aunt sees my point of view. I don't expect her to take on my point of view. I'm not trying to change her mind. She has faith. You know, we just have these philosophical discussions about, well, hey, you know, this is what you believe. So what do you think about this? You know, what do you think about that? And, you know, if you can have a discussion with that about somebody, that's how I debate. You know, if we're discussing politics, you know, let's discuss politics. I can debate on that. But if you say that I'm completely wrong and you can't back it up with like facts, like if you can't educate me, then don't say I'm wrong. If you can't educate me, don't tell me I'm wrong. You know, that's just basic for me. Once you start saying that I'm wrong and you start going at me and my belief, then I'm going to seem indifferent because I don't know how to handle that. I don't know how to handle that and still be nice. So my go-to is to freeze, disassociate, disconnect. And when I disconnect, I'm blank. But there's a whole bunch going on in here and in my heart and in my gut, you know. Anyway, I've gone on about this long enough. It's going to be a great day. I'm going to make it so. You know, anything that happens, you know, you just have to say, hey, shit happens. Shit happens to good people. It happens to bad people. It happens to everybody. You know, sometimes it's not about you. You can be completely positive and have bad shit happen to you. It's just a reminder to be thankful for what you have, to be grateful for what you have. You know, my car's broke down, but you know what? I'm happy. I'm healthy. I have a place to stay. I have food in my belly. I have people that love me. Those are things that, matter to me. The vehicle breaking down, shit happens. Bills come up. Shit happens. Am I going to let that ruin the good things that I have? No, I'm not. And you can do the same. When something bad happens, think about the good that you have. Don't dwell on the shit that you don't have. Don't feed that. Do not feed that. Just say, hey, I'm not the only person who woke up today, got in their car, and it wouldn't start. I'm not the only person today who was driving to an appointment and got in a wreck. I'm not the only person today who was driving to an appointment and I couldn't make it because my car broke down, and I can't buy Christmas presents because I paid the tow truck driver to get my car to the house, and I found out it's going to cost, so it's going to cost more than the vehicle's worth to fix it. Or people that could help me fix it are unavailable at the moment. Don't dwell on how bad that sucks. Just say, you know what? Shit happens. I'm not the only one going through this today. Nothing that happens to you today is not happening at another time, to somebody else. You're not alone. So just know that you're not alone. Just as you're having a curse today, there are other blessings. So have a good day.